They say the value of an idea lies in the using of it. So welcome to Business Insight. This is where we discuss business ideas and report those using theirs and how they use them. I am Olaoluwawe. Today's show will feature an extensive conversation on the lucrative world of fish farming in Nigeria, uncovering innovative practices and the opportunities shaping the aquaculture industry with Temitope Odetola. But before then, I'll bring you business updates and market trends across different parts of the world. Stay tuned. In today's business news, Zenith Bank has taken a proactive step to address the economic challenges posed by the removal of petrol subsidy in Nigeria by implementing a company-wide salary increment for all its staff. In the same vein, Wema Bank says it also increased its staff salaries, recognizing the impact of the recent spike in fuel, electricity and other prices on their financial well-being in a statement signed by its divisional head, People, Brand and Culture, Ololade Ogungbero. Zenith Bank's salary increase covers both contract and permanent employees, with some fortunate enough to receive substantial raises ranging from 25 to 50%, depending on their grade levels. The decision to raise salaries comes as a move to support employees during tough economic times, showcasing Zenith Bank's commitment to the well-being of its workforce. The recent removal of fuel subsidies in Nigeria has had widespread effect, particularly on employees who now face increased transportation expenses for their daily commute. The move is expected to positively impact staff morale and motivation, fostering a sense of appreciation and loyalty among employees. Market watchers anticipate that this laudable initiative may influence other financial institutions to re-evaluate their employee welfare policies and provide support to their workforce in challenging economic conditions. Nigerian football sensation Victor Osimhen is set to earn 50 million euros, approximately 43 billion naira, if he moves to Paris Saint-Germain PSG this transfer window. The move has been widely speculated, and PSG seems to be the only club capable of meeting Napoli's owner Aurelio De Laurentiis's high asking price after other top clubs like Real Madrid, Manchester United and Bayern Munich withdrew from the negotiation table due to the high valuation. Last week, PSG reportedly made a 120 million euros offer for the player, which Napoli rejected. Napoli values Osimhen at 150 million euros, and so far, no club has been willing to meet this asking price. However, PSG's president Nasser Al-Khelaifi may still have a chance to secure Osimhen's transfer if the 300 million euros reportedly, or the reported deal with Al Hilal for Kylian Mbappe is confirmed, although Mbappe is yet to confirm the move to Saudi Arabia. Now, Google has teamed up with Africa's largest domestic card scheme, Verve, to simplify digital transactions on the Google Play Store for Nigerians. Henceforth, Nigerians can use their Verve cards to make purchases on the platform, boosting the digital ecosystem in the country. Under this collaboration, Google will process Verve transactions within Nigeria with the Nigerian Naira NG and treat them as local transactions. To use their Verve cards on Google Play, users simply need to open the Play Store, select the app they want to purchase, click on the amount showed, and add their Verve card details when prompted. The payment will be charged automatically, making it convenient for users. Head of Retail and Payment Partnerships at Google Play, Anthea Crawford, says this development is aimed at expanding Nigeria's access to Google Play, enabling seamless access to applications they need. Managing Director of Verve International, Vincent Ogunde, says that the integration with Google Play is a significant step towards promoting financial inclusion, bringing digital content and services closer to Verve cardholders, and bridging the digital divide. With Verve's expanding acceptance, more Nigerians can access digital services, making the payment process stress-free and easy. The Nigeria Customs Service (NCS) and Benin Republic have reached an agreement to address the issue of multiple taxes on transit cargoes along the ECOWAS corridor. The Acting Controller General of NCS, Mr. Adewale Adeniyi, revealed this during a working visit to Cotonou, where they also decided to harmonize the import prohibition policy to ensure consistency between the two countries. Both nations are committed to promoting the ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme and facilitating the movement of goods and community products. They aim to remove barriers and obstacles to legitimate trade and establish custom units when necessary. Strict compliance with the transit rules and the harmonization of the list of prohibited products are also part of their plans. Customs officials of both countries are expected to meet twice every year to discuss matters of common interest, focusing on enhancing cooperation, intelligence sharing, and pooling resources to combat cross-border crime effectively. More also is the integration of Nigeria into the interconnected system for the management of goods in transit segment, a priority for both countries, along with reactivating the Joint Committee for Monitoring Trade and Transit Relations. The Nigerian ambassador to Benin Republic, Mr. Olukaide Aloko, expressed the need to re-evaluate the existing border agreement, emphasizing the need for creating a conducive environment for businesses and ensuring favorable terms for both nations. The African Export-Import Bank, Afreximbank, and Ghana Railway Company have joined forces to finance an integrated 299-kilometer standard gauge railway network connecting Ghana's Western Corridor to the port of Takoradi, providing vital access to external markets. The project's preparation facility agreement was signed during the Afreximbank annual meetings, with the bank committing to offer financial solutions, including project preparatory support and project financing, to ensure the project's success. The railway project is expected to reduce transport costs by 30% and enhance the safety and reliability of transport services, fostering Ghanaian trade and economic growth. During the implementation of the phase, it is projected to create around 5,000 direct jobs and 50,000 indirect opportunities along the railway corridor. Additionally, 400 Ghanaians will receive training to participate in various aspects of the project's implementation. The railway line will also facilitate mineral and commodity exports, resulting in approximately $950 million of trade annually. The project is set to bolster intra-African trade within the AFCFTA context, supporting regional integration and overall economic development. Aero engineer Rolls-Royce has raised its annual operating profit forecast by approximately 45%, now projecting a profit range of £1.2 billion to £1.4 billion. The company's revenue is closely tied to the hours flown by its popular aircraft models Airbus A350 and Boeing 787 long-haul jets, and its increased defense spending due to geopolitical events has contributed to the significant improvement in the company's financial outlook. This has led to a considerable surge in the company's stock value, nearly doubling it in the year. Now, the company's shares rose by 20% to reach their highest level since the start of the pandemic in March 2020, compared to the previous guidance of £800 million to £1 billion. This is significantly higher than the market's forecast of £934 million, and Rolls-Royce Chief Executive Officer Tufan Erginbilgic expressed satisfaction with the company's progress and transformation despite facing external challenges like supply chain constraints. The improved performance is attributed to better operations, which for him is a priority. Commonwealth Professional Fellowships are offering opportunities for mid-career professionals from low and middle-income countries to participate in a professional development program at a UK host organization. The program aims to identify talented individuals with the potential to create positive change and provide them with a chance to enhance their knowledge and skills in various sectors, including non-profit healthcare and academia. The fellowship covers various costs, including a monthly stipend, approved fares, and personal maintenance. The stipend amount is £1,944 per month, or £2,397 per month for those placed in organizations within London. However, fellows are not permitted to engage in paid employment during the award period, and the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, CSC, cannot provide support for staying in the UK after the fellowship. Eligible applicants should be mid-career professionals with at least 5 years of relevant work experience in organizations from low and middle-income Commonwealth countries. Voluntary work experience will not be considered for this requirement, and applicants must currently be employed at an organization they intend to return to after completing the fellowship. Applications for the fellowship are open until Wednesday, August 16, 2023, and must be completed online. Prospective fellows need to provide academic qualifications, employment history, and a statement explaining how their work experience is relevant to the desired UK program. Additionally, they must submit a development impact statement, list up to 3 references or referees, and include a personal statement about their motivation to make an impact in their home country. And that's the company updates. It's time for market trends. Let's check out the development in the stock market. We start with the Nigerian Stock Exchange, NGX, which closed the previous day's trade with a total of 500 million shares traded in 7,345 deals, making it worth 7.1 million naira in market value, or 7.1 billion naira rather in market value. However, there was a slight dip compared to the previous day's data, with a 10% decline in volume, a 4% decline in turnover, and a 12% decline in deals. Currently, the Nigerian Stock Exchange current market capitalization stands at an impressive 35.8 trillion naira. Now out of the 112 listed equities on the NGX, 32 emerged as gainers, while 24 took a bit of a hit. Seplat Petroleum Development Co. led the pack of gainers with a 10% share price appreciation, closing at 1,693.60 naira per share. Right behind them were NCR Nigeria, Courtfield Business Solutions, and FTN Cocoa Processors, all with a 10% boost in share price. On the flip side, Unilever Nigeria took the unfortunate last spot among the losers, experiencing a 10% price depreciation at 15.75 naira per share. Cadbury Nigeria, Multiverse Mining and Exploration, and Omatech Ventures also faced declines. In terms of trading volume, United Bank for Africa took the lead with 58.3 million shares traded. Access Holdings followed closely with 55.2 million shares, while Universal Insurance Company closed with 32.7 million, and FBN Holdings joined the top spot with 28 million shares traded. Away from Nigeria, at the close of the trading day in Johannesburg Stock Exchange, that's JSE, a staggering 278 million shares were traded in 296,664 deals, bringing the market value to 20 billion rand. Now, that's some serious action. The best part is that we've seen some major improvements compared to the previous trading day, with trade volume surging by an impressive 43%. Turnover soaring by 64%, and deals increasing by 29%. That's definitely some positive development. The Johannesburg Stock Exchange's current market capitalization stands at 20.3 trillion rand. So it's safe to say that the market is looking pretty robust right now. Similarly, the Nairobi Securities Exchange (NSE) wrapped up the last trading session with 10 million shares traded in 1,123 deals, making the market value reach an impressive 331 million Kenyan shillings. Interestingly, we saw a slight dip of 11% in trading volume compared to the previous trading session. However, there's good news too, as turnover improved significantly by 46%. It seems investors are actively engaged in the market, even though the number of deals experienced a minor 4% decline. Currently, the Nairobi Securities Exchange holds a strong market capitalization of 1.64 trillion Kenyan shillings, which indicates a robust market environment. Moving away from Africa to the U.S. Stock Exchange, the latest updates in Dow Jones 30 Industrial Index, also known as the DJIA, closed at 35,492.45. This marks a positive gain of 54.38 points, representing a 0.15% increase compared to the previous trading day. The index continues to show resilience and stability in the market. Investors are closely monitoring its performance as it reflects the overall health of the 30 major companies listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Still in the U.S., the S&P 500 index, also known as INX, closed at 4,561.56 points. This indicates a slight decline of 5.90 points, representing a decrease of 0.13% compared to the previous trading day. While the index experienced a minor dip, it is important to note that fluctuations are common in the stock market. Investors are keeping a close eye on market trends and economic indicators to make informed decisions. Now, let's switch to the European stocks, where the IBEX 35 index closed yesterday at 9,519.20, showing a decrease of 24.30 points or 0.25% compared to the previous trading day. The index experienced a slight dip, reflecting some cautious sentiment in the market. Lastly, in stocks, the SMI index ended the day's trading session at 11,183.55 points, marking a decline of 47.86 points or 0.43% from the previous trading day. The index experienced a slight decrease, suggesting some cautiousness among investors. Market participants are closely monitoring various economic factors and global events that may impact the performance of the SMI index and the broader market. Now to Treasury bills. During the latest auction on the 26th of July 2023 in Nigeria, at a rate of 12.15% per annum, investors wanted to buy Treasury bills worth 384 billion naira, which are like safe investments. However, the government only sold 255 billion naira of those bills because there was so much demand. This shows that investors are eager to invest their money in safe options. Some investors also wanted to buy shorter-term bills, but again, there was more demand than the government had available to sell. Investors wanted to buy 6.4 billion naira worth of the 182-day Treasury bill, but the bank only sold 1.3 billion naira, showing a 392% oversubscription. The interest rate for this bill was 8%. For the 91-day bill, investors bid 7.8 billion naira, but the bank only offered 1.7 billion naira, and the interest rate was 6%. The maturity dates for this bills are 26th of October 2023 for the 91-day bill, 25th of January 2024 for the 182-day bill, and the 25th of July 2024 for the 364-day bill. Now to the commodities market. In the commodities market, the current prices are as follows. Gold is trading at $1,970.9 US per troy ounce. Silver is priced at $24.86 US per troy ounce. Brent crude oil is being sold at $83.07 US per barrel. And moving to agricultural commodities, cocoa is currently being traded at 3,379.27 British pounds per ton, and wheat is priced at $279.56 per ton. On the other hand, the currency market has experienced significant fluctuations at the start of the week. Starting with the Naira-dollar rates, the dollar opened at 774.50 Naira and saw a slight upward trend, closing at 792.04 Naira per dollar. Moving on, the value of the euro in Naira. Presently, the euro is valued at 872.90 Naira, and to acquire a British pound, it will cost you 1,018.42 Naira. Finally, the Naira is currently standing at 5.60 Naira against the Japanese yen, and its exchange rate is 214.80 Naira against the United Arab Emirates dirham. That's the market report for today. I am Olaoluwa Awe. But let's talk about this. A well-known startup business in Nigeria is fish farming. Catfish rearing in particular has become one of the most popular and lucrative agribusinesses in the country. The Director, Fisheries, Aquaculture, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, FMARD, Dr. Samson Umo, said the federal government has targeted 3.6 million tons of fisheries annually to boost local production, income generation, among others. The director made this known during the second dialogue and sensitization meeting on fisheries, Governance Project 2, that's the Fish Gov 2, with regional economic communities held at Chelsea Hotel, Abuja recently. He said that the fisheries and aquaculture subsector was very significant to the Nigerian economy in terms of employment creation, income generation, poverty alleviation, foreign exchange earnings, and provision of raw materials for the animal feed industry. Now, Dr. Umo informed that it was estimated that over 10 million Nigerians were actively engaged in primary and secondary fishery operations, thus creating wealth and increasing production. In his words, Nigeria's total demand for fish is 3.6 million tons every year, while we are producing just 1.1 million tons from all our sources, that is artisanal, aquaculture, industrial sector, leaving a deficit of about 2.5 million tons. Now, the ministry is working hard in collaborating with the private sector to enhance local production in order to reduce imports. Dr. Umo stressed that the federal government is encouraging backward integration through commercial aquaculture production, that is pond and cage culture, for local consumption and export, adding that it will yield positive results. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture also says, unlike some other farming businesses, such as poultry farming, fish farming has no negative environmental consequences, and you can easily set up a small fish farm in your backyard without any regulatory precautions and make a huge income. Fortunately, Temitope Odetola, a fish farmer and the president of Youth Employment in Agriculture program, will be giving us insights into starting and running a fish farm in Nigeria, the opportunities and the challenges. Sunday Adegbite, an aquaculture and fisheries management student of the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Ogun State, will also be teaching and learning alongside with us, so you don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Business Insights on Souk News. I am Olaoluwa Awe, and today, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be talking about the complete value chain of catfish farming in Nigeria, from the production to the preservation to the distribution and all. And to do that with me in the studio is Temitope Odetola, A fish farmer, the MD CEO, TTS Integrated Farms Nigeria Limited, and the President, Youth Employment in Agriculture Program. Welcome, Temitope.
Thank you.
Yes, and joining us also is Sunday Adigbite. He's a student at the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Ogun State. Hopefully today we'll get to learn all that they've been teaching you at the university, all the way from Ogun State. I think he's studying aquaculture and fisheries management.
Yes.
So maybe while you give us practical as a fish farmer, he will give us the theory.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So let me start with you, Temitope. So what even motivated you to go into fish farming in the first place?
Oh, well, you know, Nigeria as a whole, we've been battling with importation and having a lot of product coming from foreign country, and they see our country as like a dumping ground, that this is a country that can bring anything they like, something that's been waste in their own country and bring it to Nigeria, and that Nigeria is a state that consume it. So I think I was touched and challenged when I got the news, and you know, that the World Bank predicted to Africa by 2015, and that Nigeria won't be able, Africa won't be able to feed themselves. It was a touching thing for me, and I took it upon myself that I think I need to change the story to see how I can produce what we can eat here in this country, and produce for myself, produce for, you know, the member of the Nigerian country. So I think ever since then, the challenge has begun, and taking it upon myself, and I will even taking the responsibility and now divert it, you know, to business, and you know, which is even money for me, and you know, and now see that as a source of income, and it's a very good business, and I also try to bring other people into the industry.
You know, but the way the Federal Ministry of Agriculture described the fishing industry in Nigeria, the subsector,
Yeah.
you know, you must be making a lot of money. You know, we've been told that the demand is so high, the supply, we can't even, you know, produce enough fish for us to eat, we import a lot.
Yes.
So is the demand really, as someone who produces and sells, you know, is the demand really that worthwhile?
Yes, yes, it does what, but I think in the previous government, we've been trying to, and you know, when we have different director in the ministry, whether at the state level or the federal level, they always try to, you know, predict or even to make promise of what they can do, and we have not even getting to their dream of promise. The demand is too much.
So many Nigerians want fish.
They want the made in Nigerian fish being produced, because we've over a decade, you know, we are used to importation and bringing foreign food like frozen fish and that. And from the research from the different institutions, that the implication of what we consume concerning to relate to our health is not good. So people start changing and start thinking of how they can eat what we produce, and you know, to live long and to have a healthy environment, and you know, healthy family. So people have been demanding, not only people for Nigeria, and for Nigerian diaspora, the demand is high. I must be sincere with you.
Does it also have something to do with the taste? Is there, you know, a difference in the taste of the Nigerian produced fresh fish compared to the imported frozen fish that's
Well, that's a very fantastic question. I like that. I think absolutely there is difference in the reason the importation, the imported frozen fish products has been stocked for a while in their cold room to the level that has lost taste. So you can compare the one we've locally produced here, you know, fresh and direct from our water. We have, you know, every country have their own water. So why here in Nigeria, most especially in Lagos, we have our own water environment, and you know, the parameter. So the taste is different, is super than any other imported product coming to the country. So, and the health aspect of it, when they take this thing to the cold room, the preservation aspect, that is one of the things that kill the system, you know, that kill the body system. So the people that consume that does not know this, from the research that was done in the past, it was detected and it was reviewed, the member of the public, that this what you are consuming, it is true that it's cheaper because it has been like a waste to them. And we have some people that think Nigeria is just a country that they can bring anything they like, and they just brought the product to Nigeria to come and make money and killing the people of Nigeria. So when the people dictate that the implication of what they are consuming with the cheaper rate that is going to kill them, so they decide to drop it. They will still have some poor family that still, patronizing, that still going for it. But why majority and the advocacy is still on, and we are still trying to see. This is one of the things we are doing now. We are trying to tell the Nigerian and the African the importance of our product and what we have, how good it is, how healthy it is. So once people get to watch and they listen to the radio, to the TV, they get the information and they pick it and they try to work with it and to save their life and save oncoming generation.
Now, thank you very much, Temitope. Although we need to do a fact check and even investigate more on what you said about the frozen fish being a little bit toxic and all of that. We really need to investigate that to know how healthy it is to consume this imported frozen fish. But let me get to you, Sunday Adegbite. What are the species of fish that we produce here in Nigeria? I know the catfish is very popular, but are there other types of fish that we produce here in Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you so much for the questions. There are actually other species of fish that we produce here. But basically, the major species of fish that we produce in Nigeria is catfish, whereas there are some other aspects of Nigerians in which that they produce tilapia fish, and also we have different kinds of species of that tilapia fish that people still produce, not the common tilapia fish. So we still have a lot of species that are still produced in Nigeria.
And please, in addition, I think we have different water body. We have fresh water, and we have marine water. We have the brackish water. That's when the two water come together. We have it here in Bonny Camp, and that's when they join together. So we have some species of water that survive in the marine water. Why we have
species of fish?
Yeah, that survive in the marine water. Why we have the fresh water, which the most easiest one to culture, to feed the populate is the one with the fresh water, where we have the catfish, we have the tilapia, we have the pangasius, we have the brahma, we have a lot of them. We have the gymnacos, like that is culturable, that one can do to, you can make money from it, and it's edible.
Sometimes when we talk to experts, they make it look as if producing fish or, rearing fish is so easy. They even say you can do it at the back of your house. Please take us through the process. If you really want to get into this business or you want to rear a fish from start to finish, how do you go about it?
Wow, just like the director said from the research, and that is one of the reasons why we and other fishery and aquaculture students in the university, college, and the polytechnic to go in there and to study the technology. How can we do it instead of going to the waterway? Before we have different farmers in the aquaculture industry. We have artisanal fishermen. Those are the ones on the water, on the lagoon, using the canoe. So those are the ones that are using the net to fishing those fish in the fresh water. Why? From the research and to meet up with the demand of the population of Nigeria, we discovered that the fishermen, once they throw their net into the water, the net captures all different sizes of the water, both the big and the small, that's supposed to be growing. That in the next 3 months, the female should go back to the water and fishing, but the net captured everything. So because of this, we begin to lose, the quantity and
of fish in the
water. And so the research was done and come up with how we can culture the fish using different way of culture, by using the plastic pond, using the wooden vat. We just get a tarpaulin and then get the wood. You can get a carpenter to do that. You can do it in your backyard. It's not even compulsory being in your backyard. You can do it in your balcony. Even if you have a big sitting room, you just carve a place and you put your pond there, you rear your fish and you enjoy your fish. So it's so easy. So far you have water. Water is the most important thing. And check the parameter of the water. Once that is there, you are good to go. Enjoy yourself, keep your family healthy, and keep the nation healthy.
So you mentioned water now.
Yes.
You know, you said it's one of the most important things you need to have to rear fish. So how do you manage water quality to ensure a suitable environment for this fish?
Okay, how to do that is easy. One, whoever that want to go into the fish farming, whether the borehole has been there or it's about to start the borehole, to consult the expert. Number one, to check the location, the suitable place to feed for the, you know, the borehole, because we checked, if we are to decide to dig a borehole, we have to check the parameter, I mean the topography of the land.
Must you have a borehole?
Yes, it's very important for people that stay within. For those that stay in the swamp place, it's not compulsory to do that. You can just dig, and the water is a swampy place, the water will come out, and you can keep your fish where you dig and start rearing your fish.
Also, you just need a constant source of water.
Yeah.
Yes, because the fish survive with oxygen. They need the fresh oxygen to breathe, to eat, and to grow. Okay. So once they have the fresh oxygen, they are good to go, and you have the good harvest out. So the water is very important. Number one, to check the parameter, I mean the topography of the land. After doing that, where you are going to put your borehole, if the borehole has been exceeded, you need to take your water to lab, check the parameter to know the content, whether the iron is high, the pH is high, and that. So once you check all these things, you are good to go to start with your fish.
But is there anything like too much water, too little water, you know, compared to the number of fish you want to rear? You know, that's just what I want. Because, for example, if you if you have about maybe 50, you want to start with 50 fingerlings, or you know, how do you calculate the amount of water you must put the fish in?
Okay, I think with that, if you have you want to start with the fingerlings, like 50 pieces of fingerlings or 100. If you have up to, you can get a tank of 500 liters. Water tank, and the water can be to the half of the water. That's a 250 liters of water, or 350 liters. The fish are
for 50 fingerlings.
For 50 fingerlings or 100. So because they need a free movement to move around, to compete, and to also digest what they've consumed, to convert to flesh.
So how do you, Sunday, you could just help us with this. How do you manage disease outbreaks? Because I hear some people say, yeah, I went into fish farming, everything died. So probably because of a disease or so. How do you manage this, and what measures do you have to put in place to ensure that the fish, the fishes are healthy? You know?
Part of the measures you use in controlling the disease outbreak when it comes to aquaculture, when it comes to fish farming, is the most important thing, just like he has said the other time, is to ensure that the quality of water is very, very okay. And after that, you ensure that they are not, like the water is not too toxic for them. And the feed, there is not too much of quantity of feed on the surface of the water, because when there is too quantity or when there is too much of feed, of their feed, the water will be so toxic, and by so doing, some of them might die along the way. And also you ensure that there is supply and regular oxygen inside the water, because they need oxygen. That's what we call the soft oxygen in water, because they need it for the most of the activities inside the water. So you have to ensure that all these fishes, they have the quality parameters, just like he said the other time, are in places. There are measures for this. We have for salinity level, we have for the soft oxygen, we have for all of the parameters, we have for temperature. So we must ensure that both the temperature, the salinity level, the oxygen, the water flow, they are in a controlled situation, because in so doing, you ensure that they are kept away from diseases.
Now, for those who are, for one reason or the other, battling with fishes that are sick or that are not acting as normal as they should, are there people for you to see to quickly treat them before you make a total loss and it leads to a total disaster? How do you address such a situation when you discover that there's something wrong? How do you even know when there's something wrong? Let's start with that.
Yeah, part of the ways when you know that there's something wrong in your fish pond is when I want to say people is when the fish are not responding to feeding.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you right from the feeding. Once you feed them and they are not, there's this kind of excitement that you see in them when you are pouring the feed inside the water. So when you notice that they are not responding even to the droppings of the feed, that means you know that there is something wrong with this fish, and immediately you should take measures to check out what is wrong with them. If it is temperature, if the temperature is too high, or if the temperature is too low, or even if the issue is with the water. So by so doing, then you now take the necessary actions to prevent the outbreak, because at first not all of them would have been affected, just few, to show you that okay, something is wrong in this fish pond. So immediately you notice that you separate those that are affected in order not to cause the disease outbreak.
Well, thank you very much, Sunday, for that. The Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, must be doing a good job.
Yes. in addition, another thing that people should, or what the farmer should watch out for is once you have their barbels being cut or whitish, or you have their fins being whitish, that's to show that they have infection. So once you see that, is that if it is one, you can isolate that and give a treatment. We have different way of treating the fish. We have a fish biotic, we have fish cure, we have different kind of antibiotics that can be used to cure before it will spread into the other pond.
Thank you very much. Before we quickly get to preservation and distribution of fish in Nigeria, he touched on feeds.
Yes.
For someone that's just starting out in this business, how do you even know where to get the feeds? What kind of feeds do you need to get, to feed your fish?
Okay.
Go on.
Start with that.
Thank you. Actually, there are several feeds that you can use for your fish, and it depends on their growth age.
Okay.
You have the one for the fingerlings, you have the one for the flies, you have for juveniles, you have for adults, you have for broodstocks, and the likes. So now, for you to know the kinds of feed, there are different, just like I said, the processed way and the natural ways. So if, as someone that is just starting up, if the person can't afford the feed cost, such a farmer can actually start with improvising their feeds by, and part of the ingredients we use, we have the bones of the fish. We have there's this particular thing we eat that they call kulikuli. Yes, we can use it. We have maize. It's part of what you can use to formulate
your own feed.
Yes, and with that, and even the fish responds to natural feed like more faster than the processed one. So you can, like a starting up farmer can improvise their feed to process the feed for the fish.
Yeah, but for those who just want the processed one, are there markets?
Yes, there are actually markets to get that. We have for Alaqua and the likes, Alaqua feed. So they can actually get the feed, just processed one.
Now, let's talk about preservation and distribution. What are the different ways to process and package the fish? I know there are people that produce their fish and sell it raw, but are there other forms you can make the fish to make it very easy for you to distribute?
Yes.
Let's allow Temitope to answer that.
Okay, we have a different way of preserving the fish. When the fish are small, from fingerlings and juvenile, it's easy to transport. We use a jerry can, to transport it from one location to another. And like 50 liters, you can put 1,000 fingerlings in. While juvenile, you can put up to 800 pieces and 1,000. It depends on the distance of where you are going. So that's the way to transport the smaller. While the table size one, starting from 500 to 1 kg, you can use a jerry can, 50 liters. That's for lower quantity, while we have different bath, the basin to move them, and you have a sack to cover their head to transport them from one location to another. The processed one can also be preserved if it is well dried. The moisture content is 0, so it can be where it can
moisture content must
yes,
be 0.
Yeah, must be 0.
How do you do that? Is it a machine for that? Do you need
yes,
to spread it under the sun?
yes. No. That's the old method way they do to spread in the north. I think they still operate that in the north, while here down in the south and the west, and we've advanced to the technology where they use something like this. They also have in them, but most local way aspects, they are still operating in the.
But what machine do you use?
Yes, we have a machine called Smoking Clean. It's locally fabricated, use charcoal and gas. But the one I have in my own farm, with charcoal, and we put it inside after killing the fish, washing, put it in the tray and put it in the oven, and the fish get drying, and to the moisture content, you keep on checking it. Make sure the moisture content is 0, so that to help the shelf life to be long. And after drying, the fish has to be kept in the normal room temperature, so that the fish can stay longer. That's how to preserve the fish.
Yeah, quick question. Just to start a small-scale fishing business, say you want to produce.
Okay.
I know they say it costs little to nothing, but just how little are we talking about? It will 100,000 do? Will 50,000 naira do? Do you need to have at least ₦1 million? And what's the return on investment like? Do you make up to 10% profits? That's return on investment, irrespective of how much you put into the business.
Well, thank you. I think the business Yoruba, there's another said, "Ento ni owo, lo ni owo." So if you have
money,
owns the business.
Okay.
And if the more money you have, the more profit you have in this fish farming business.
The more you invest.
The more you invest, the more the
return.
turnover. So if you want to start, just like myself, I don't think I start with a big amount of money.
How much did you start with?
Well, thank you for the question. I started with just 65,000 naira then in 2014. And somebody should not say because, the exchange rate then, the economy, this and that. But now, that is what I encourage the student and whoever that come across me. You don't need to have a 500 million, you don't need to have 500,000, you don't need to have 10 million before starting. You can start with as low as 100,000. Okay. So it's good to always start small and grow big. So I started with 65,000 then. I think I know where I am now. I've grown, far bigger than that now. When I started, I didn't have equipment, I didn't have a machine, but I have more than 1, more than 2 now. So I started with 1. I didn't even have a pond then, but now I have more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep counting. So you can start with 50,000 naira. You can start with 100,000, but don't expect that you are starting with 50,000. You want to make profit or margin of somebody that invests 500,000. No way. So the little you start, and you can just, the 10% you talked about, you can have the 10% profit from your investment.
Wow.
And it also has to do with the management.
Okay.
The management contributes to what is going to be your turnover.
Now, let me quickly ask Sunday Adigbite this last question. Are there government training opportunities that you are benefiting from, as a young person who is really trying to build, a career in this line of work?
Yeah, actually there are several government opportunities that I've come across. I should not even call them NGOs and even national ones. One of which is World Aquaculture Society. I was a benefit of the just concluded conference where I was exposed to a lot of benefits in aquaculture, which actually even triggers my emotions, my passion for aquaculture. and this is what triggers me the more to even put more effort. So I've benefited a lot from the government opportunities, and there are a lot of NGOs that people can actually put into.
Do they give people money to invest, or do they just train?
Yes, some out of them do train people and even set them up, while some even give them grants. They give them grant to start their business.
Okay, so let me quickly get back to you on sustainability and environmental issues. Do you have friendly environmental practices? Like, how do you even dispose your wastes in this line of work?
Okay. Well, we dispose the water, as we have the pond, whether plastic, whether wooden vats, whether concrete. As we have the inlet, we have the outlet. Okay. So automatically we run the outlet direct to the drainage, so that take to the canal and make the water dispose for good management, integrated farming. Sometimes, like the one I have at the back of my house and my farm, I don't think I dispose the water into the drainage. I just dig like a pit where I channel the water to, and I still have fish there, and I have a vegetable around me that I wet with that water that that serve as like a fertilizer. I don't put fertilizer in my vegetable because I run organic farming, so wow. I enjoy that, and that make me, every time I go on the airport there, I do tests. They say I'm more younger than my age because of what I consume, which is very important for people of Nigeria, both in home and abroad, to please take Nigerian products important. We are doing it right, and we are trying to get it right, and I know we are going to get it right. And please, concerning the question you're asking concerning the government and the other, there are a lot of several opportunities that are available for the students, for the youth, being done by the government, whether the federal, the state, and the local government, and different organizations, that are also supporting that too.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Timi Tokpe Odetola. We need to come to the end of the program now, but we'll continually engage you, because we know that you're not just a fish farmer. I know that. I know that you are the President Youth Employment in Agriculture Program. You've headed, certain agriculture youth programs and teams, in the past, and I know that you have those opportunities at your fingertips. So from time to time, we will continue to engage you so that we can know more of that. But Sunday Adegbite, thank you very much for your time on Business Insight today. And once again, Timi Tokpe Odetola, you're highly welcome.
Thank you.
And that is Business Insight for today. I hope we have learned a lot about the aquaculture in Nigeria, catfish farming, and all of that. I am Olaoluwa Awe. Tomorrow, we'll continue with another interesting topic. Don't miss it.